Hello and welcome to GMTalks. Today we're going to look a little bit of chess military strategy. We're going to look at two concepts, the OODA-Loop, and negative ability. And especially the later one is important for the featured game, which is Nils Grandelius against Salem, played in the TePe Sigeman tournament in Malmö not so long ago. It has been used a lot by a lot of players in different fields to take military strategy and put into practice in other areas of the world where you're also fighting in a strategic or tactical way. I think Sun Tzu, the art of war, is a famous example, and it's a good read, by the way. There's also Clausewitz, Am Krieg, or on the war, or something it's called, which is also interesting. I've heard some podcast, I think Tim Ferriss podcast and so on, where they have talked to military experts, and one of the concept I kind of liked was the OODA-Loop. And the OODA-Loop is basically based on how to make decision making in the field. Where you start with the one O is observe, the next one is orient, and the next one is decide, and last is act. And you do it in that order. And you can do that in chess as well, where you observe what is going on, you orient yourself, what is most important feature of the position, then you decide what are you going to do about it, and then you act on your decision. It sounds easier in theory than it is in practice, practical games, but it can be a concept, and I think a lot of players would be helped a lot by the first two moves in this concept. Observe what is going on, and orient what is the important features, because a lot of players, especially young players, they just start calculating immediately, and they sometimes you should move up into a bird's perspective and look down on the board and say, okay, what is really going on, what are the really important things, how is this position going to look in 10 moves or so, what should I aim for, what should I definitely try to avoid, and so on. Anyway, let's get into this fascinating game where we also see the negative ability in play in a while. This is the Caro-Kann, and this is some sort of I don't know, Panov variation where white does not play c4 immediately, wait a little bit, and here plays the kind of move, weird move, a3. Of course, white has a Taras in reverse where he has got this move for free. This move is a nice move to have because it simply prevents this annoying pin that would be black's main move after knight c3. And here the logical move for black is either e6 or g6. And Salem plays g6, which is normal care, Taras, and white plays c5. This is also known from the Taras, and it's just a Taras in reverse where white has gotten a3, which is definitely helpful because this does put a lot of pressure on this pawn. C5 is an interesting strategic decision. White goes past, leaves this pawn here. This one is slightly less weak now. I should make it red, due to the fact that there is no open file here. White is also having a very clear queenside majority now. And the aim, of course, is to push the pawn. With c5, he somehow also enhances his grip on this square, and he's getting ready to put the bishop not on this passive square or this square where it does not do anything because this one is really heavy protected, but put it here where he's fighting for the e5 square, I mean this square, right? So due to this pin here, and white is hoping that he can play around this piece and exchange this piece, and also hoping this one will not do too much damage. What is black's plan? Black's plan is, of course, to try and blow the center up. A natural thing for black to aim for is e5, because when white went through here, then it makes sense to blow the position up, and this might end up being weak, and this might end up being a strong pass pawn, and so on. He's also trying to get his piece out. He would also like probably to go something like this in a lot of way and just attack black center. Castle, and of course this guy has to live, so out we go with the knight, opening for the bishop here, and on white goes here, and black, if black takes that one and white takes back, then white's center is pretty stable, and white will have rather easy play with the rook in the e file and maybe some pressure on the d file, and it will not be easy to achieve e5 in that structure, and sometimes white can even go c4. Okay, and black is now finally fully developed, but he did not take the pawn, and white decided that he's not going to, because black has a little less space in this situation, and so white is hoping that these will turn out to be clumsy. If he can move this knight and hit them all, then it could be unpleasant for black. Also a natural move. Black is now ready for b6. b3, but he did not play b6, he played a6, and that was a little bit weird, maybe to play this way. Maybe he's trying to play this, and after something like, for instance, this could be the idea to do something like this, and probably black is fine here, even though this is a passed protected pawn. The center is unstable, and black will definitely have some play here. Grandelius took the pawn, and basically he's trying to play around this guy. He's hoping this guy will be a what's called superfluous or something piece. Very difficult to say for Danish speaking. And he's of course hoping that he will have a very strong majority on the queen side. Black is hurry. This was the point of black play anyway, but still white has the prospect of creating a strong pass pawn on the queen side, which is a little bit annoying for black, for sure. Queen c7, taking control over this square and getting the queen to the queen side. Rook here, stopping anything and threatening this move, and more or less forcing black to take, and rook takes, and queen here, and getting to the a file, attacking the pawn. And well, I think the position is more or less balanced, and by the way, you are not supposed to get a big advantage with a move like a3. Anyway, the position is probably easier to play for white than it is for black, and after something like this, white is hoping this pawn will be weak, and we'll have that was annoying. Come on. Can I get this one out? Thank you. Sorry. That these pieces here will not do so much. By the way, in this kind of closed structure with a lot of outposts, the knights are usually pretty good. Knight here, not a great square for the knight, by the way, but it is hoping to get to this square. Okay, so we'll be trying to orient ourselves with what's going on. Black managed to now it's time to orient yourself again. You're observing the a pawn is gone, so what's going on right now? The big question is who's better here, and why, after this we have a symmetrical, more or less. Black has a weak pawn here, white has a weak pawn here, and the question is who's better here, and what is your plan? Well, the plan is to attack the other one's weakness. Another plan is to get more space and sort of try to put your opponent's pieces into passive spots. So both sides will try to get become more active, get the pieces to active squares, and so on. And black will try to attack here, and white will attack here. And this one is a little bit weaker. It's harder to defend this because this has to be done by this, but white has an active rook on this file. Black also have an active rook, but it's not nearly as good. And we see that already the pawn is under attack. The bishop goes back, rook here, king here, and take. And here we have an important situation, you could say that. I think, and here is where negative ability comes in. What is negative ability? The ability to do nothing. To do nothing. When and this is something, for instance, most politicians don't have. When something happens and the journalist is going to ask him, what are you going to do about it, or her, what are you going to do about it? And she will reply, oh, we will make a new law, or we will make the punishment more severe, or we will do whatever. No matter, even if it's a bad idea, and sometimes and often it's a bad idea, it's probably because you have to sort of tolerate some unpleasantness. You have to accept that everything, maybe the position is not great, but doing something about it would be worse. It's like being sitting in a fortress that is under gunfire, and it's unpleasant, but but you just have to endure it, because if you goes out, you will be sure to be hit. So doing nothing is a great capability in chess, and it's very hard because here actually white does not really have any good moves, so to speak. Black could play a lot of things. He could play like something like h5 or something, get a little bit more space on the queen's king side. The thing is, with white's plan is to put a knight here, winning this pawn. If he goes here now, you just take it with the bishop. So what is the biggest threat for white? Well, this knight is not in the game. If it could go here and here, then black would be under serious pressure. But it cannot. And why can it cannot? Because this rook is here, taking away this square. And this is where black is thinking, I got the bishop here, and I got a lot more rating, and I should probably win this game, and I'm not gonna just sit. I'm gonna do something. Come on, I'm a big good grandmaster. I'm gonna do something here, and even though it's probably bad to do something, this is what a lot of people would do. So here. Salem gave this check, and on this move he decided, okay, I'm not gonna allow this, even though it's not really a big deal. So I'm just gonna play this move. So in here he should definitely go back and just admit there is nothing here. I'm not better. I just have to prevent white's plan, and I'm orienting myself. White has one dangerous plan, that is getting this knight here to this square, and I have to prevent it. And the only thing, and how do I prevent it? By keeping my rook on this rank, and avoiding the knight from going there. Instead he went here, and it's already clearly worse now, because now the knight is coming, and this clumsy bishop is not. Oops, sorry, is not good. and black goes into full passive mode, and the other knight is coming now because you can take back with the knight, and now we're ready to kick the knight, and black's position just crumbles. And now the knight is in some trouble here. And oops. So it can all go to hell pretty fast. And rook came back, and here black resigned. So negative capability and observe, orient, decide, act are two military strategies you can use in chess. If you don't know what to do, try that. And sometimes you just have to accept, okay, I don't think Salem liked his position here. He doesn't have any actual plans. He just have to keep defending, and that's not very pleasant. But there's no big threat at all. So just for instance, something like this, in this position, you can probably meet with this move, and even this move is not really something. So after this, you just move the king and threatening the knight, and so on. So I think this was a very instructive example of the negative ability, the ability to not do something. And it's not easy. This was GMTalks. Thank you for watching.